प्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमेन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मेस्तु तदात्मनि निरते य उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ May all my limbs attain strength. May the body, the mind, all the sensory and motor organs become efficient and powerful. All is verily the one without second. Existence, consciousness, bliss itself, the Brahman. May I never deny the truth of Brahman. May the Brahman never reject me either. May all the virtues described by the scriptures as necessary for the realization of Brahman be with me. Om. Peace, peace, peace. Let us feel our essential nature, the Brahman, the one without second, by removing our identification with the shape and corresponding name. Let us imagine I am a wave. On the infinite ocean of Satchidananda, the existence, knowledge and bliss. In ignorance, I identify with the shape of wave. It rises and falls, but I am not as it were conscious of it. I see other waves. I see them different from me. I form relations with other waves. Some waves are friendly to me. Others are confronting, clashing, inimical to me. But I see the shape is changing. Who am I? What are all other waves really? And I see the ocean from which all waves are rising, staying in the ocean and falling back again in the ocean without leaving a trace. I am really the infinite ocean. I am not this changing body, different from other bodies. There is just one without second. Existence itself that doesn't change, from which all forms emerge, unto which they all go. I am eternal peace, infinite bliss. Om, peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, let us begin today's discussion on this great treatise, Srimad Bhagavatam. It is fairly big in size, but its vastness actually lies in its qualitative content. It is covering so many aspects of human life as well as the existence, coming up of the universe and dissolution of it. It brings the wonderful stories of great sages, saints to inspire us and show that the great ideal that we think of is actually possible to experience, possible to realize. And we have to have that conviction that this is something that I can realize. It is not something just I read about. This is not a theory that may be true logically but is impractical. It actually is the real, and I have to experience it to get whatever I aspire for in this life. Otherwise, I don't get what I am looking for in life. That is the very important aspect of this. So, this Bhagavatam shows each of us can realize the truth. Let us begin with our regular uh, opening chant, the first verse of this great book. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि. That from whom creation, sustenance and dissolution of the universe take place, who is both the instrumental and material cause of it, who is omniscient, is the only one having self-mastery, being the one independent entity, who illumined the mind of Brahma with the Vedic revelation, whose wisdom is the wonder of even the greatest sages, in whom the world of the three gunas subsists, just as the combination of materials like fire, water and earth subsist in their causes without changing their elemental nature, in whose consciousness there is nothing false. On that truth supreme we meditate. In our last class, we were discussing how the pattern of one's life be molded on two different ways of classifying. One is according to the gunas, that is the which indicate the aptitudes, the potentials of a person. How that person is, looking at the life, what kind of desires that person is having, and what that person intellectually and physically is capable of. Every person, if you see, is different in this respect. No two are fully alike. So, therefore, it must be properly understood and our life should be guided accordingly. There is nothing wrong in uh, any profession. Every profession, every kind of work is capable of bringing illumination in our life, and not that I have to be a professor, or I have to be a musician, or I have to take up this particular business. No such thing. Any work that one can do well, that work one must carry out, and that will, if carried out properly, that work has the same potential of bringing the ultimate illumination in our life as any other work. So, therefore, there is no point in trying to change the work, thinking that this work is a kind of obstacle for my spiritual life. In this work, I don't get much scope for the scriptural studies. In this work, there are too many distractions. No, don't think like that. Every work has its own problems. When we are doing one type of work, we become conscious only of the problems of that work, not the problems if I take some other work. That work has its own problems, which we know only when we take it up. It is, I had told you the story of a man who was breaking this stone. He was a stone breaker. Those days there were no machines to crush the stones. So would go to a stony mountain and then keep on breaking the stone. But one day it was very hot. Imagine, the summer sun was scorching him. So he prayed to God, "Oh God, why did you put me in this profession? Don't you see how I am getting tortured here? Why don't you make me this sun?" And the God said, okay. So he became sun and then started with that shining uh, glory moving everywhere in the skies, and I was quite happy. Look how I illumine everything. But suddenly saw that something is obstructing its glory. He is not able to shine. Why? Oh, there was a big cloud that was blocking it. Now he had learned the technique whom to approach for a change of job. So he said, God, oh, I asked you to be made sun, but this cloud seems to be more powerful than that. Why don't you make me a cloud? God said, oh, fine, amen. And then they became cloud and was very happy that it can block the light of sun, but felt suddenly a big pull. What's happening? Oh, was being pulled by the winds. Oh, these winds are more powerful. I don't want to be this weak cloud. Make me the strong winds. Then they became wind and then was blowing everything away. But a mountain was standing just without budging. So God make me this mountain, that is better, and became mountain and was standing with that regal bearing. And then, but suddenly felt a big painful blow. Eh? That was some stone crusher, stone breaker was giving blows. Oh God, why don't you make me? And I am the same fellow, stone crusher. So every single profession is associated with problems. Don't think that if you become Elon Musk, all your problems will be gone. No, you will have your Elon Musk problem instead of Charlie problems. Charlie Feldman feels that, oh, so much there is so troublesome life. Let me become Elon Musk. Then problems will remain the same. Only they will be called Elon Musk problems. So it is, the point is that this is one way of organizing our life. The second is according to the stages of life when you are a child, when you become a grown up person, a young person, then you get the declining begins, you become an old person, a senior person, and then you become very old person. So accordingly, also you should shape your lifestyle. That yes, a child has what is, we saw brahmacharya ashrama, that there is the child should not worry about other things. The parents are there to take care of other things. Uh, Acquisition of money and running after many different pleasures. No, no, you acquire knowledge. Knowledge is now what you have to do. And do not worry about other things. But more important than knowledge also is the developing and imbibing the proper customs, etiquettes, and those such ethical and moral background that we must develop then, because that is an impressionable age. The sages have found this, that what should be done at what age. And it is because later on, as we say, that if an earthen pot needs to be given proper shape, once it is completely baked, dried, then it will break, that's all. You cannot shape it. So it is only when the clay is still wet you can give it shape. So that is how once the brain becomes hardened to instill some new ideas, it doesn't just take. If you try to push, it revolts that no, it is, if I suggest some young person, it is gives consideration. Okay, maybe tell something to uh, a senior person, and then that person, no, I am not person like that. No, no, I cannot do it. I cannot do it. Period. That is how they, because it won't take. The brain material becomes so hardened that new paths will not be getting made on that. That is why this period is reserved for that, for imbibing virtues, ethical and moral grounding, etiquettes, and and knowledge. Develop your knowledge. Don't worry about other things. It is uh, over after some time, and then you have your social responsibilities. You have to earn money, you have to have a family, you have to have the other things that you want some enjoyment and so forth. That has a time when the body is energetic, uh, but do it without losing the moral, ethical ground that has been already built up in childhood. So, on the basis of this brahmacharya, then next ashrama comes, which uh, in a surprising way Bhagavatam has not described in that order. From brahmacharya it jumps straight to vanaprastha ashrama. Vanaprastha means when one becomes uh, not very old, but uh, the prime youth is gone. It is about the person becomes a senior person in the our uh, this language parlor called a senior person. So, vanaprastha ashram. Now you have to see that the time now to get over with this body is approaching. See that why do we have to have the body? See that all those important functions of having the body are now fulfilled. Uh, the life is for realization of God, the highest truth. That realization of the truth is the ultimate sole purpose of this life, and therefore that has to be fulfilled before it falls off. Before the body falls off, one sees that there is not much time left now. The major part of life has been already lived. The energies are dwindling. So one must now not waste time in anything else. It is like the students, in the beginning of the year, they feel, oh, there is lot of time for studying, the exam is far away. So later on I will study. Right now I will get engaged in many other things. So runs about here, there, uh, does all different things except studying, and then uh, suddenly an awareness comes. Oh, now only 1 month is left. Oh my goodness, I have to complete it. Otherwise, this whole thing is waste. So then that person girdles up loins and says, hey, now I am not going to waste any moment in any other things. Called that fellow, otherwise would pick up the phone and was very eager. Let us go for excursion, let us have some movie time, and so forth. Now that fellow doesn't even pick up the phone. Very busy in studying, because not a moment to be wasted. Time is running out, very precious. So now therefore concentrates on how I can realize the goal of life. And the first part of it is to get unattached or detached from everything that one has gone into in this, otherwise this householder's busy life. I have a job. Now, with the job, okay, but I form so many connections internally and externally with those things. I have a spouse, or I form connections with that. Mm, the children and all that. So many things are there. Social associations are there. I am connected to various organizations. So I have to now learn to withdraw which friends uh, is not at all easy psychologically. Appears to be very easy. No, it is not. The mind just remains there. Oh, maybe next month I will do it. Uh, doesn't leave so easily. And you see, while working, while doing those things, you already got into many psychological associations very deep, and now they have caught you. Now they don't want to let you go. And so, even if you want, they won't let you go very easily. You have to be determined and pull yourself away. This is called Vanaprastha life, which literally means a forest dweller's life. From the living in the civilization and getting associated with all people, now the relations have been formed. My house, my spouse, my children, my all these other organizations that I helped to build. All those things keep on now biting you. They don't let you go. Think about it. It is. So one has to spend this time with very determined effort to get detached. And then attached to God. Both are to be done together. So that is the lifestyle. Attaching to God, detaching from bodily life. The body is about to go. How long will it last? A few years here and there, maybe, but do not have any attachment to it. It is going away. You develop that attitude that, oh, uh, first, initially, you were having, some clothing. Oh, it is getting torn. Let me take care of it. Let me repair it. Let me stitch these holes, because this is, I am going to use it for a long time. Now already it is getting worn out. Its time is approaching. Now you know that it is not going to last much. So it gets torn, and now you do not go to get it repaired, stitched back, because how long it is going to last? It is unnecessary efforts. So you see that all these uh, physical associations are now going to fall off. One must remember this, that we forget that and want to forget that. Oh, that is, there will be many people who would be saying, and I have been told about that by some people who actually are devotees in a way, that no, no, this is a negative thinking. That oh, this is the dwindling, and soon the life will be ending. All such thoughts should never be given a space in your mind. Always think that you are a young fellow, and you can do lot of things now. Lot of life is there left to live and enjoy. Mm. So it is, was uh, this Anubhavananda ji had given some retreat here, and he was telling how people take pride in this. One of his very old acquaintance met him, and then already was in 80s, so was showing, hey, look at my teeth. I got all these new teeth, spent so much money, and look at that. So he was showing him his teeth like that. That now the um, body is not going to last much. There is a reason for the teeth becoming bad, so that you will survive more by not eating too many things. If your teeth getting bad means you cannot chew many things. And most things that you cannot chew, if you were going to put them in, they will be very difficult for the stomach to chew. Not only teeth, but the stomach will not be able to process those. So therefore, now it becomes a very funny game that you have the nice teeth, and then those teeth are there, but you die soon. Instead of bad teeth, you had very good new set of teeth in your body, that's all. So it is, one must see that this is not going to last much. It is difficult, but one must strive to do that. It is so difficult. We had seen that before, that Yudhishthira, the eldest of these Pandava brothers, he was asked this question, that what is most astonishing thing in this world? And he gave the reply that every moment we see people dying about us. Every moment we see people or different creatures, they die. And yet we cannot give up the thought that we are going to be immortal. I am going to be immortal. Those, they died, no doubt. But that is not applicable to I. We cannot imagine that I also am going to die. And so, this thought therefore needs a pressured, that it needs to be pressured within. It is like they give a shot, some kind of shots. When they give, you have to give a real push. It is like, if it is powdered thing, there is a medicine that is to be injected. But it is not liquid powder, it is kind of thick powdery thing. So it is to be pushed in with a broad that bore needle, and still you have to push it. So it is, so unless you push it, it won't go. So this idea that this body is ephemeral, and now it is time that it is to be pushed in deep, that enough, I lived so many years, my prime youth phase has passed. Now the limbs are not that strong. There are so many aches and pains in the body. I have to go to doctor frequently. The hair that used to be black earlier have now become grey, if at all they remained. And so it is, one has to see that no, this is the science that I am now on my way out so far as body is concerned. The body is on its way out. And so before it falls, let me make the best use of it for fulfilling that purpose for which it is there, for realizing God. That is the purpose of body. This is because once it is gone, again to get human body is considered very difficult. And so there are reasons for that. But important thing now is that it is very difficult to get birth like a human being. It is a very costly body, very pricey body. If you say lose an ordinary just pen, oh, forget it. After all, it was costing just 25 cents and doesn't matter. But suppose you bought a $100,000 worth precious stone. Now, if it is lost, then what? You will be so perturbed. It is because now to replace it, somehow you collected 100,000 and paid for it. But now again to spend $100,000, I don't have that much money now. It is so, this to get this human body, one has invested a lot already from our karma currency. From the good karma that was accrued, from that accrued good karma, this very efficient, elegant, powerful body has been acquired. And now it is difficult to get it again very soon. So, therefore, what for this was acquired? See, all the pleasures of the body otherwise. You can have that in an animal body also. Actually, in animal body, they can be enjoyed better, like eating. Isn't it, Arya? A human body cannot have that kind of pleasure, of eating. We get stomach ache, allergies, and all that. So many problems. But look at a pig. Never gets any allergy problem. Can eat a lot. So, it is for physical enjoyments, human body is not at all suitable. Another problem with human body about physical enjoyments, there is the prick of conscience. That, oh, I am wasting my body. I am wasting my time. You feel pricked by that because you somehow are aware, no, this is not the purpose for it. Our conscience pricks, and therefore even those enjoyments, they are no longer enjoyments. Then to suppress that conscience, people take some alcohol or such things. They to those, so that the conscience doesn't bring its hood up. It is suppressors of conscience. So therefore, it is very important that this body should be used, human body should be used for the human purpose. And that is to realize God. One may ask many who had very dear pets with them. They ask, why my dog is so spiritual, Swami? Why can the dog not realize the God? Oh, the dogs and other creatures do not have that spirit of discernment to feel what is goal of life. It is an instinctive life. Just the that input and the response to that input, automatic response. That is their life. There is no such thing as this is the goal of life. They don't decide and act according to that decision. It is, if something is in front, oh, this is a nice bone, and then the dog will take it. It is, will not have to make this discernment that will I have digestion problems? No, nobody. Will I have more acidity because of that? And no dog is likely to bother about those things because that is the dog life. Nothing wrong in that. So, but it is human beings who plan, who have a goal in life, and therefore they can make discernment and see what is the goal of life. And thus they get an opportunity, they have the chance to direct life in that direction and get it. It is, therefore, it is possible in human life. And if it is not used like that, as Keno Upanishad says, Mahati Vinashti. It is a big, terrible loss that you had this opportunity, you had the human body, and you wasted it in all these nonsensical things that an animal body could have done better. It is, imagine, if you have to go in these small lanes in the downtown Providence. This uh, afternoon we had gone there. So uh, if that a car is okay, that's it. Again, parking was a problem, so we decided to just walk there. A bicycle is okay, a car is okay, but that's about it. Now, suppose you have a spacecraft built that is useful for, say, going to another planet. Mm. Now, will you use that spacecraft to move from Vedanta Society, go to downtown? It is meaningless. It is misusing it. It is meant to go to other planets. That is why your bicycle may be costing $100 or something similar. This spacecraft, $1 trillion. So, and you are not using it for the purpose that it is made for. You are going to your friend's house in downtown using that. How will it go in between that narrow space between tall buildings? It will not be able to go. So that is how this human body, this machine, this vehicle is made to go beyond this sphere of gravity. You need that very powerful engine to generate what is called the escape velocity. Hmm. So, if you have that escape velocity, then only you will be able to go beyond this gravity sphere. What, Bishwajit, how much is the escape velocity? Uh, he doesn't know. He is a chemistry man, so I don't know. Uh, do you know Ashutosh? Huh? Forgot, doesn't know. Uh, how much Srikant must be knowing? 11.6 kilometers per second. Huge velocity. Remember Vishwajit. It is with that velocity, propulsion to that velocity, how difficult it is. So, uh, one our human body is like that. It has this possibility to go beyond this gravity of this sensual life, attractions, and getting caught in it, and so forth. And thus, we have to use it for this purpose. Therefore, it has been said that the goal of human life is that. So now the body is about to get disintegrated. So now let it be peacefully get it disintegrated. Should take minimum food and without attention to taste. Why? Because if you are eating for taste, you will eat more than what you should eat. So it is, you will run after tasty foods. Again, you will think this is tasty, but that would be tastier. So it is, one has to learn to control those things, perform austerities, but in a way that they do not impair the strength of the mind, because the mind is needed to discern and proceed forward, and dissolving the body into its elements. Dissolving means mentally seeing that what is this? It is a little flesh, some bone. They have come from those elements. They actually are going to go back to those elements. That is it, like a clay pot going back to clay. So, this body is going to go back there. One must remember this. So, in olden times, they one has used to go to forests. Now, in the modern times, you use your vanaprastha, the time of getting retirement from bodily life, into service activities. Do service with it. Do not do any work for earning money. It is, that part is over. Now spend your time in service, which is very useful, that you are thus doing a karma yoga, using the body for this purpose, not for any material gains. It has to be remembered like that. So that it is remembered, but it is not easy to give up, because that is how the mind has been trained. What do I have in it? If I do, what I will get? That is the thought that becomes uppermost. So it is, one has to guard against it, and therefore this kind of volunteer work in different places, serving people without any expectations. So, like you say, some people, they are seniors, they volunteer to collect all the trash have fallen in various places, and they collect and they discard it. There are, you see, in most of the national parks, many volunteers come and do work. Because it is a simple work, and they have nothing much to do at home, so they come and spend time in that helping others. And at the same time, the studies of scriptures and uh, meditations that have to be taken up, so that you can think of the ultimate goal of life and give connected to that. Then sannyasa. When one feels that detachment is done, now give up everything, and that is called sannyasa. Sannyasa has two aspects. Sannyasa has it's automatic sannyasa when you attain the knowledge, experiential knowledge, I mean, that this world is unreal, and therefore no attraction is left, no desire or no possibility to work to improve the world. You cannot improve the world because you see it as unreal. You don't go to improve the unreal things. So, therefore, this stage comes that the knowledge has dawned. And so that's automatic sannyasa. You see that you are Brahman alone, all pervading truth. But there is other type of sannyasa called vividisha sannyasa. Means you are convinced of it. You have not realized it, but you are convinced of it. And therefore now you take it up, the practices, so that your conviction will ripen into experience. So that conviction is put to test through so many things, that refraining from any worldly activity, spending time away from society, and uh, leading it like that. Swami Vivekananda gave another important dimension, to it. We shall see that sannyasa ashrama should be friendly, one should be friendly to all and completely resigned to God. Should view the world, including one's body, as subsisting in Atman. The whole world is in Atman. See that. Because from that it comes, in it subsides. So it is Atman. Like the meditation that we were doing, all waves, and they come from the ocean, go back to that. So you start seeing the Atman as the only reality. It is inseparable from the Supreme Brahman. This Atman is Supreme Brahman. Should see the pure Atman not subjected to bondage or freedom. It doesn't change at all. It is the Atman is ever free. It is not subject to bondage. It is due to ignorance one gets attached to this ego and thinks that I am bound. And no, the Atman is never bound. No freedom also. This is the great idea you will find in Vedanta, that no, you were never actually bound. The bondage was just an illusion. So get rid of that thing. Should see the pure Atman not subjected to bondage or freedom. So, as Swami Vivekananda gave this uh, new emphasis to sannyasa life in modern times. He says, this is a quote from his very short talk, short lecture at Belur Math. The title is Sannyasa, its ideal and practice. So it is for everybody, not just for those who are sannyasins, because this statement in the beginning, those of you who are sannyasins, means what? There were others who were not sannyasins listening to that lecture, but must try to do good to others. For sannyasa means that. This is the uh, part that Swami Vivekananda brings out, that I shall very briefly characterize it as the love of death. And then he immediately, I have not taken that part, that love of death, somebody would think suicide. He said, no, far from that. What one should do? The love of death means what? We must die, that is certain. Let us die then for a good cause. Let all our actions, eating, drinking, and everything that we do tend towards this sacrifice of ourself. And that is how all the actions to be guided. And then, therefore, he started all these service organizations for service of humanity. There is the motto of Ramakrishna Math and Mission, Atmano Mokshartham Jagadhitaya Cha. So we shall discuss some of these things in our next Friday's class. So we shall chant this closing chant. Then if you have any questions in case, please feel free to voice them. निगमकल्पतरोर्गलितं फलं शुकमुखादमृतद्रवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुर्हो रसिका भुवि भावुकाः. O devotees, quaff to intoxication this nectar of the fruit of the tree of Vedas, flowing from the mouth of the great sage Shuka and mixed with the ambrosia from his words. Any question? Oh, you have a question? My goodness. Okay. Hey, microphone.
Right. Okay. So looks like Vanaprastha is supposed to be very favorable for spiritual practice.
If properly practiced, yes, that is the stage where now you had led a life of going headlong into enjoyments. You collected property, this relations, and all that. Now one must be able to see through this experience that it is all vain. It doesn't really give you anything. So now you want to get detached from it. That is the beauty of this Vanaprastha ashrama. That yes, you spend a lot of energy in getting enjoyment. Did you get it? If you examine, you see, no, the nature kept on enjoying you. You never could enjoy. It is, you were deceived as it were. And so, therefore, now you want to extricate. Why did you not do it earlier then? It takes lot of time for the wisdom to dawn upon us. Those who get that wisdom early take to this ashrama or sannyasa ashrama early. But others, at least it is expected that as a human being, that after spending, say, 25, 30, 40 years of life running after physical enjoyments, that now at least I should know, it is that there is no enjoyment to be found in running after the world. So I must stop it. And whatever attachments, entanglements, commitments that I have made, let me get out of this. So, in that sense, it is very helpful for spiritual life.
Because oftentimes, now we talk about it, that they say there is a time for detachment. Now is not the time.
That is, I spoke about it. Nobody thinks that now is the time. Now is always the only time available. Now is the only available time. Tomorrow never comes. Hmm. So, if not now, then when? That's the question. That is there. So, Vanaprastha, come on.
Not detaching earlier.
No, it is if you feel the. Otherwise, you will continue the same thing in Vanaprastha. People, they have retired, and then instead of living a Vanaprastha life, they live this life embroiled in all worldly activities. There is lot of time, so go and play cards and such things. So therefore, when one gets this feeling, the process of detachment must be begun. Then that is the actual Vanaprastha ashrama. Yeah, the process of getting disentangled. The entanglements were okay as find out to learn. Now you see, you have to get out of the clutches, and one has to make concerted effort to get out of those clutches because they don't leave us. I am ready to leave, but that thing it doesn't is not leaving me. That story of the blanket is not letting me go. That a man, friends were walking in a wintry night, cold, and one of them thought that, oh, there is a nice blanket there, and let me go and grab it so that there will be some warmth for us. So the further friend said, okay, go and get it. And then the friend was not coming. Oh, bring the blanket and come quickly. What are you doing there? No, I cannot bring the blanket. Okay, drop the blanket and then you alone come. This friend says, but the blanket is not letting me go. Hmm. It was a bear, not a blanket. So it is like that, all those enjoyments and other things that we went to catch. What is that, Yona? Catching bear. You think that all these enjoyments you will be able to get. You went to catch the bear, and they never came. So that is how get disentangled. Don't get entangled, that is very good. But if you have got entangled already, then get disentangled. Any other question? Our Joan has.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Swami. Um, you said austerities which don't impair the strength of mind.
Yeah.
Um, isn't the purpose of an austerity, the very purpose of it, to hit at, or not destroy, but to hit at the state of mind you're in? I mean, isn't there something that, it bothers me, that this saying, there's something there I'm not seeing, because to me an austerity would impair the mind. No.
No. Austerity will remove the attachment to certain things. Like if you decide, for example, I will take food only once a day. Hmm. Now, for a certain this advanced age when the body is not requiring that much food, it is good that you take food just once a day. But do not overdo things that are not providing any nutrition, because not only body, our mind also depends on the body being properly nourished. Otherwise, you will not even be able to think properly. In Chandogya Upanishad, there is that experiment was done, told to show that the mind is also a matter. That, okay, deprive the body of food. Can you think now? No, my thinking ability has also gone down. So, therefore, that should not happen. The instrument with which you will be progressing, that instrument should not get impaired. Yeah, that is the meaning. Perform austerities, but let those austerities not impair the strength of mind. The body is getting disciplined, thereby mind also is getting disciplined. But why it is told the performance of austerities is seen by many as depriving. Depriving the body, it has accustomed itself to food, so deprive it of food. Uh, but it may be taken to far extreme when the mind also will be deprived, and thus the mind will not be able to think. This is quite very much noticed. Why this was told is because of this, that in austerity, I want to perform austerity. The most popular form of austerity in India is fasting. Then the fasting, okay, I will not eat food one day, understood. I will not eat food for 3 days. Then you look at the neighbor, oh, that neighbor is not eating food for 4 days. Okay, I will overdo, I will do 5 days, I will beat that fellow. Now, in this process, the body becomes weak. Not only that, the attention goes in other direction. And therefore, austerity means do not, the word austerity, the Sanskrit word tapas, it means purification. So purify the body and mind, and let the strength of the mind remain intact. That is the meaning there. Any question? Oh, Ashutosh, you have a question. Come on.
Pranam Maharaj. Is
Yes.
the ideal of sannyasa for all of us to imbibe?
Ideal of sannyasa, what?
For everyone to imbibe internally?
I am not able to
Oh,
hear.
if is the ideal of sannyasa for everyone to imbibe internally, even if not externally?
That is possible, but there is a glitch there, a catch is there. Why do you not, if you internally want to become a sannyasi, why you are not becoming externally as well? That shows that there is some attachment. Therefore, you are not becoming externally sannyasi. So, see, externally becoming sannyasi is comparatively easier than internally becoming. So, one should see, why am I not becoming externally a sannyasi? That there are some attachments to home and hearth, attachment with friends, attachment with certain enjoyments, want to avoid the disciplines and all that. So it is even, the attachment for certain clothings, that, oh, I don't want to wear this kind of sannyasi clothings. What is there after all in clothing? What you want is the knowledge that I am Brahman. Why put on such clothings? Okay, agreed. But why do you not want to put it on? It is that because, see, the idea is that all variety is gone. Yesterday somebody was saying that, oh, it is because it is like Halloween color, yesterday was Halloween. So thought that I have put it on specially for Halloween. I told, no, no, this is my everyday attire. And there is no variety. The mind gets distracted by variety. And to prevent that, therefore, you have to take up certain disciplines. So, why does one not want? There is a discussion in Shankara's commentary on this, that, oh, uh, yes, knowledge can be had at any point if you are detached. But does it not show attachment that internally you want to become a monk, but not externally? Something is holding you back. So that is the difference. It is many say that, oh, I will be like Janaka. Sri Ramakrishna has, in Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna comes this passage, that everybody wants to be, say, I will be like Janaka. King Janaka was a person of knowledge. And so, although externally he was doing all the duties of a king, he was not attached to anything. So I will be like that. But unless you practice, they forget that Janaka has performed lot of austerities. Sri Ramakrishna says that Janaka has performed so many austerities, giving up everything. And now he is taking it up to show that yes, the knowledge for teaching people, that this can be lived in any walk of life. So, any walk of life you can have this knowledge. So, that is Janaka. Sri Ramakrishna comments that otherwise, Janaka, the meaning of Janaka is a father. So you beget a few children and you become a Janaka. That is not really the Janaka. Yeah. Any upstairs question?
Yes. Question from Taraswin.
Yes, Taraswin. Namaskar.
Pranam Maharaj. The mind is relentless and unyielding. What are practical methods to overcome the old habits of mind?
Yes, if you want to overcome, first thing is that we must make sure that I want to overcome. Many times the difficulties are raised and exaggerated, that just because I don't really want to give up those old habits. We fear that there will be uh, reactions of withdrawal. Hmm. So therefore, better not give it up. So in that case, it is difficult. But if you are determined, yes, yes, I want to get over these debilitating, problematic habits, then the course can be charted out that, okay, come on, stop this. No, it is impossible to stop. No, you can stop. Put your foot down. What happens? Let's see. I had narrated here that how I wanted to get rid of this habit of drinking tea. Simple habit. But it is not simple to extricate yourself from that. Without your knowing, the tea has already gotten hold of your mind. That it is, you therefore interpret that verse in Bhagavad Gita, that where that Lord says, I am in the heart of everyone. But then you say that cha aham chaham means tea, chai. So in all hearts I reside as tea. So should I give up the God in me? So it is, and I tried to give it up at first stroke uh, till the evening, early evening, I was okay. There was some headache, but I could still hold on to the resolve. After that, it became very, very disturbing. It is. I thought that if I do not get tea now, I am going to die. And thus I gave up the resolve that day and had tea. Then I said, oh, why did I succumb to it? Have I ever heard anybody dying because not getting tea? Impossible, you see, but you believe such nonsense that because without this, how can you survive? No, you will survive very well. And next time I tried again and was, by the grace of God, successful. So all these habits are like that. It is the habits. I will never be able to get up early in the morning. I was not at all good at getting up early in the morning. But does it mean that I have to remain like this? No, I can assert, yeah, let me start getting up early in the morning. If once or twice, it will be hard first. But then, you become so established in it that I can say I cannot actually sleep at a early morning, and I have to get up. The one habit now is overcome by forming another habit. And that is how you can overcome the habits. It is not very easy, but certainly not impossible. So one must try like that, Tharaswin. Any other question? Thank you. So let us conclude with the closing prayers. मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल। हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल, हरि हरि बोल। कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल, कृष्ण कृष्ण बोल। मुकुंद माधव गोविंद बोल, केशव माधव, केशव माधव हरि हरि बोल।